All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk about some motivation. We're going to talk about some meditation. We're going to talk about some inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Start getting our mentality in place, start getting our ability in place, overcoming our challenges, putting ourselves in a place where we utilize what we have, utilize our ability, utilize our challenges, focusing to the point where we start to put the mentality in place, where we start to become a part of the universe, where we start looking at how we can overcome our challenges with mental clarity. So, where are you on the spectrum of focus? Where are you on the spectrum of using your challenges? Where are you on the spectrum of putting yourself in the place where what you're going through you have the ability to overcome? And so, as we see challenges, we got to recognize that the things that aren't meant for us move out of the way on their own. That when you focus into positivity, that when you focus into the ability, that you're going to face off against challenges. Now, as you're facing off against challenges, as you're putting yourself in a place where you're in focus, as you're putting yourself in a place where you're starting to see positivity, you'll be able to actually see the challenges that you're facing off against. You'll start to be able to see the things that you're working through. You'll start to see the mentality that you have inside. And so it's like two forces, positive and negative forces. So how do we start utilizing it? How do we truly start putting ourselves in a place where we focus into positivity? And a lot of times we're facing off against a lot of challenges. And the challenges that we're really facing off against is if we can truly become who we are on the inside. So when you're focusing to gain a level of mental clarity, when you're focusing to gain a level of being, sometimes having some time for yourself is super important. Having time for yourself to clear your mentality, clear your challenges, put yourself in a place where you start to believe in you. And when you start doing so, when you start seeing positive things moving in your direction, you start to recognize that it's not you that's changed. Self-care, self-connection, self-being is not what changes. So we never really change inside. And a lot of people don't get this. They feel like somebody else did that or somebody else made them do this or that until they truly look at the challenges that they're facing off against. And as they start to do so, as they start to put themselves in that kind of place where they give themselves that kind of ability, they start to see where positivity comes from. And so when we give ourselves that kind of ability to face off against challenges in such a way that we put our mentality first, right? So where is your mentality? What is it that you put your mind to? What is it that you put your ability inside of who you are? And we each have that place inside of ourselves. And so when we are looking at how things are and how things have been, we ultimately start looking at what we're looking to achieve. Okay, so if you're looking at just a right now moment or a singular lifestyle, then that doesn't gain access to the total journey. Okay, the point of the journey is that you see past the challenges, you learn about the challenges, and you learn how to overcome your challenges. So if you start to see something and you start to focus into it and you truly start to put yourself on a place where you see these things and you truly want to overcome them for yourself, if you truly want to get to the point inside of who you are where you're utilizing that level of mentality, it's going to require the ability to recognize that the people that are actually moving in that direction, they're not going to move down a route that's going to take them out of that direction. And so it's not about a feeling worthy or unworthy. It's about a mentality. It's about an ability to put yourself in a place where you can visualize what you're looking for, what you're actually seeking out. And a lot of people out there, they abandon their positive angle because they're not willing to face off against the difficulty of reaching it. I'm thinking about right now about a specific situation where I had a vehicle that broke down, okay? And I had someone who was really close to me. And I look at how if they would have just waited, if they would have just been patient inside of themselves and not in a rush to try to find a solution and just hung in there, that they would still be a part of that. And I'm looking as I just took this vehicle to go get work done on it, and I look at how they push themselves out of the way because they were not able to embrace positivity. They were not able to embrace the ability to overcome their own challenges. And a lot of people hide behind the excuse that I'm not perfect. Okay? Or this, I'm just a good person. Okay. What does that mean? What does that mean? When you say you're a good person, what exactly does that mean? Because what I look at is positivity. I look at, are you moving in a direction that 5-10 years from now you're going to be able to sustain? Are you looking at an angle where people are knowing you for you? Are you looking at an angle to where you're utilizing your mentality, your ability, your vibration in such a way that you become alive? And now a lot of people seek out to become alive, and they seek out thrill in places that aren't going to bring them in that direction. They're not going to bring them into a way in which they have that ability. And even still today, they still have time. I've still explained that it comes from focusing to that point where you're going to decide that you're not going to allow these things that you have already decided are not positive in your life to affect you anymore. And so if they're moving in that direction to where that mentality is in place, then it's not like they are not giving you the ability to have that space in their being. It's that you're actually rejecting yourself, okay? You're rejecting your ability inside of who you are to put your mentality at a level of elevation where you have the ability to overcome addictions, fears, pains, emotions. And so if you're looking at how it's possible for them to be able to do that, then you got to look past the good and bad. You got to see what's positive in your life. And if you're seeking out mental clarity, if you're seeking out a way to achieve that, then you really have to look at what you are when everything is stripped away from you, when everything is taken from you and you are put down to that point. And I look at that ability, I look at that time, I look at what I sat and did the entire time that my vehicle was down. I sat there and I started to get onto videos. I started to get an expansion going. I started to see the positive and the negative things. And it's kind of interesting that the negative things moved out of the way on their own. So if they're wanting to come into this direction, if somebody wants to be a part of this path, there's only one way for this path. And that is through positivity. That is through mental clarity. That is through the ability. And, a lot of people feel like they're alone in a room or they're drowning until they face off against what's truly going on inside, until they truly start to see those people that really are there to uplift them. And so they might possibly be, dealing with an addiction of smoking or alcohol. And they're seeking out those type of things in that way. They're seeking out those type of people. And at the end of the day, when they look back at that day, that they did that to themselves. And they look back at that point where the music turns off, okay? When they look back at that point where the ability inside opens up, and that's when the curtains raise, okay? The curtains raise to the addictions that we have. Is when we're willing to face off against them, not when we embrace our addictions, not when we put ourselves on a page where we're not allowing positivity to come into our lives. You know, and I think about how some people push people that are absolutely blessings in their lives out of the way because they want to achieve a lifestyle, okay? The only lifestyle that's achievable is the one that you are without everything else. And so when we are focusing to that level where we're using what we have inside, when we're truly using our being, things like our breath become important, our presence becomes important, our purpose becomes important, and the journey itself then gains a purpose. And so I'm looking at this action, this way in which I'm going through these kinds of things, and I'm embracing it. Okay, I'm embracing the mere fact that I know that I can make it through this, that positivity can move the things out of the way that are not meant for me. And I've been saying this since the beginning. I've been saying this since I realized what mattered was focus and knowledge. I've been saying this to the people who want to achieve the highest level of success within themselves and on the outside. And that is the type of person that's going to be around me. Okay, I am a star in this life. I'm a star on this path. I'm a star on this purpose. And so when somebody seeks out to be around this, when they seek out to be around you, they should be seeking out for the star inside of you. Okay? And make choices on positive and negative things. Put yourself in a place where you start to identify with your challenges, where you start to identify with your being, that you start to identify with your purpose. And ask yourself how you can progress and not regress. How you can find patience inside of yourself to be you. How you can find patience inside of yourself to open up to yourself. And see, positivity, the view that others have, they see from a different angle. It's when you recognize all universal angles that it matters. It's when you see where their angle is coming from, but you also see where yours is. It's when you see 1,000 sets of eyes and you see each individual one. And it's when you embrace your own that I'm talking about. It's when you embrace your being. It's when your purpose starts to have a part of your path. And see, when I chose to allow those karmic things to not hold on to me any longer, when I chose that, those ancestors, those people, those blood links, those soul binds that are connected to me, they clapped their hands because they knew that I will not tolerate that kind of thing in my life. I will not put myself in that kind of a place, that I will not give myself that ability to be lowered to a place where I have to worry about who's going to be coming home, who's going to be speaking to me, who am I going to have to meet today, okay? I want a solid foundation and focus. I want you to see a solid foundation inside of yourselves. If you're on my Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, click those like buttons, subscribe to those networks, hear what I'm saying. And so when we want the ancestors to really actually see the joy inside of ourselves, we have to overcome our karmic challenges, okay? And so if you're facing off against your karmic challenges and you haven't learned the lesson they're going to go like a wheel. They're going to come right back into your face until you decide that no matter what, once you've decided, okay, it's not like somebody else can do it for you. Okay, when you decide to stop smoking, you decided in the universe that that is not something that I'm going to allow to become a part of my life. Now, if you go back to do that again, then that cycle just starts all over again. It doesn't go back to the point where you overcome the addiction. What happens is it starts to ask you, have you learned your lesson? Because eventually there comes a day that you have to face off against every karma. Okay, the things from your past, your addictions, your fears, your emotions, your pains. And if you are willing to allow positivity to fill that space, if you're willing to allow it to embrace that point where you feel like you hit the afterburners, okay, and I'm talking about your jet is flying, but when your jet starts to truly fly, the people that are not meant for you move out of their way, and those people that are seeking that type of place, they start to see that and they want to come in your direction. They want to become a part of your life. They want to become a part of your path and your journey. And so, are we focusing to that level where we are writing stuff down to that point, to the point where what we're using inside of ourselves becomes a reflection? And so you see, when you focus to that level where you start to see the reflection, it doesn't matter at that point what other people's opinions become. They're going to, when you start to become that positive, they're going to say what changed inside of you, because what truly is happening is you're becoming yourself, and they're not identifying with the mere fact that you are embracing your health, your being, your purpose, your path, your journey. And so when you take that type of thing and you put the karma down, the only person you affect is yourself, which is the reason why I still say there is time. Because what we go through, we grow through. And so when you're growing and you're going through these kinds of pains, are you allowing yourself to become a teacher of those kinds of pains? Or are you allowing them to stop your growth? Are you allowing yourself to have a stunt in your growth? So how do we start to put that kind of a thing into a place where we start to put that kind of mentality first? See, it's when you start to overcome those type of things. It might be difficult. Okay, you might have something where, you feel like if you do this type of thing with these people, then you have to do this thing. No, my friends. You don't have to put yourself in those kinds of places. You don't have to put yourself through those kinds of challenges. And if you want to be a part of somebody who's going to have a positive life, if you want to be a part of that, then you're going to be having to seek after that. Not after addictions, not after pains and fears. Because who we are inside matters. That's what really matters. Who you are inside, not what other people think of you. That is a lower level of vibration. When you're looking to be a part of this network, when you're looking to be a part of this journey, when you're looking to find a way to overcome these kinds of things, then you're seeking out a positive journey. You're seeking out that it isn't going to be easy. Okay, I never said to anybody that becoming focused was easy. I said becoming focused is worth it. Are you seeing your worth? Are you seeing your value? Are you seeing your journey? Are you seeing your path? Are you seeing your purpose? And see, I worked with somebody who has absolutely had a beautiful heart. Okay? I was working with somebody to have self-growth and to have self-mentality and to have self-awareness. And when they let that karmic cycle fall backwards, and Blessings. This person on Periscope just said, "You saved my life yesterday. Thank you." You're welcome to call in and tell people how that happened. So when we put ourselves on a page where we start to identify with these type of things, it's not until we are willing to go beyond good and bad that challenges that we face off against, we start to embrace. And it's within oneself to overcome those challenges. And it's within oneself to identify with that. And I started to recognize that there was a true reason why that person cut the bands out of their life. And it was because for a glimpse moment inside of themselves, they saw that they can do something and become something greater than that. And that part inside is a beautiful thing. That is a higher level of vibration. That is a higher level of understanding. That is a higher level of focus. And if they see this message and they're hearing what I'm saying, just look around them at the people who actually embrace them. Look around them at the people that are truly creating things in their being, that are truly creating that kind of vibration. And look at how you have grown. And start to see the challenges that you're facing off against, not as something that holds you back, not as something that stops you from who you are inside, but something that brings growth within you. So when you fall back, when you retreat into places where you're not seeing the higher vibration, when you retreat into places where you don't see that you can become more, then you truly lose things that are important. It's when you focus to the point where you see the positive things, and that is what you start to chase after. It's when you feel negativity, you start bringing yourself towards positivity, not more negativity. It's when you believe to that level, it's when you don't lie. When you get to the point where you open up completely, where you overcome those challenges, where you start to see them and you don't hide behind an excuse such as perfect, because we are already all made perfect. We are all beautiful beings just the way we are. It's inside of our mentalities that we gotta liberate. It's inside of our abilities to focus to the point where you see past those kinds of challenges. It's when you focus to the point where you utilize what you have inside. It's when you focus to the point where you believe in yourself. See, self-worth, not somebody else's worth. Self-worth is what I'm talking about. And when somebody sets down boundaries and says things like, this won't become a part of my life, if they're not willing to stick behind their guns, if they're not willing to stick behind their challenges, then they truly are not who they are inside. And sometimes they might just make it want to feel good because they want to get a certain type of feeling within themselves and inside of the people around them. But when they truthfully get down with their challenges, when they truthfully get down what's going on inside of themselves, and they've explained to the people that are around them, I'm not living this kind of lifestyle. The people that are going to be a part of this life, the people that are going to be a part of this purpose, they're not going to have to worry at 2 o'clock in the morning, okay? They're not going to have to worry if this person is not going to be there for them. They're not going to have to worry about how they're going to stop what they're going through, what they're facing off against, how they're going to feel like they're going to drown. Because they're facing off against those challenges right in front of their face. And I'm looking at one right now. I'm looking at a mere fact that I'm getting a vehicle fixed, that I was literally left with no vehicle for some time. And yeah, that blessing was coming in the mail. That blessing was on its way. That blessing was finding its purpose, its path, a part of its journey. Do you see what I'm saying? Are we finding that place? Are we seeking after that? What is it that you're seeking after, first of all? What is it that you're wanting to achieve? Are you wanting to achieve a place where you overcome your addictions, where you overcome your pains, your fears, where you overcome your emotions, where you start to see that the people that are in your life will not allow you to be less than that if you're going to be a part of their life? See, that's somebody who uplifts you. That's somebody who believes in you. That's somebody who wants the best for you, can see your heart. They can see through all of that. And that's what they mean by when they say they know you. Because they see the heart that you have inside, the beauty that you have inside of yourself, the care that you have, the mentality that you have, the level of focus that you can achieve. And they believe in you. And even now, even after all of that, if you are able to take that side and start to put that mentality in place, to put that ability inside of yourself, they would give you another chance. But you got to focus to that point where you start to see your path. You got to see your purpose. You got to see that those challenges are something that you can overcome. That your mentality is worth it. That your ability inside of who yourself is can enable you to overcome it. Can enable you to be who you are on the inside, can enable you to have a level of mentality to where you believe in yourself. And so that is where I am headed. The people that are going to join on this path, that are going along this purpose, that are becoming a part of this journey, they see for reals. This person is there for reals. This person does not give up. This person pushes forward in a positive way, puts themselves in positive places, does not allow negativity to become a part of their lives. They'd rather be by themselves for some time than be with a place of negativity. See, are you seeking out? What are you seeking in your lives, my friends? What are you looking out for inside of your beings? What is in your core vibration? And I recognize this. I recognize that is why I feel when you invest time and they regress, I feel like they're not giving themselves the place where they can become that belief in themselves. So are you doing that for you? Or are you doing that for other people? Okay? Are you becoming who you are on the inside? Or are you letting the changes that other people see take you away from being who you are? And a lot of people, they allow that kind of temptations to take them out of who they are. They allow that kind of thing to stop them from growth that they could have a real path, a real journey, a real purpose. They want to go for fake things. They want to put makeup on. They want to put a mask on of someone that they're not. Well, I'm taking off that mask. I'm telling you, the person underneath is beautiful. When you believe in yourself to that point, where you believe that your beauty inside matters, where you believe that your ability matters, that your ability to enable your mentality matters, that's when you start to get to the point where what you're listening to matters. Who you're listening to, how you're listening, what vibration you're taking, what path you're taking, what part of your purpose you can see. And you know, the people that are bringing you positivity, they're going to put the blankets around you. They're going to put the pillows under your head. They're going to put the light in your eyes. They're going to put the light in your purpose. They're going to bring you closer to being mentally aware, morally straight, physically strong. And so, how do you start to see that for yourself? Don't forget about the Most High God out there. He created you. When you start to see this beautiful creation that we have and we start to embrace that side, we start to chase after that being, we start to chase after that purpose, then our eyes light up. When you start to see past the clouds, when you start to see past the things that could stop you, to start to see the clear skies outside, and you start to see that kind of wake-up call within yourself, that you don't need those kinds of places, that you don't need those kinds of people, that what you need is your path, your journey, your purpose, which lights up during the day. It doesn't light up at night. When it lights up is when the sun rises. When the sun sets, you start to see what I'm talking about. Let's start getting inwards a little bit. Let's start getting down with this part inside of ourselves. Let's start letting that become the teacher. Let's let that become the student. Let's let ourselves inside utilize that level of upliftment, that level of being, to where we start to recognize that that's what it takes. Okay? I have been told before, it's just not that easy. And it really is. I'm looking at challenges that are not able to stop me, but able to help you grow. I'm looking at ways inside in which the people that are going to come in this direction have got to see that I know my boundaries. I know my abilities. I know my level of focus, my knowledge within. That manifestation within yourself is worth it. I'm telling you, if you're sitting there going, what am I doing with my life? Just pick up a pen and paper, start writing it down. Start putting it in front of yourself, looking at what you truly are doing. What you're truly doing to the people around you. You're pushing out the people that want to be positive. The ones who want to take you away from the things that you leave other people for. And so, how do we get that strong to where we're able to have that kind of strength where it doesn't matter what other people think, what other people do. It doesn't matter what they're going through. It's when that student inside starts to gain those aha moments, starts to gain that aha understanding, starts to gain that aha purpose. And I'm telling you, I've done that. I've gained that. I've grinded to that point where that student inside, that the heat on the outside isn't as great as what's going on inside. If you want to be with this kind of mentality, if you want to be with a true person who is a true vibration in this world, to be a great man or a great woman, requires to not allow the opinions of others to change the mentality within oneself, to change the ability, to change the focus inside of who we are. And that shakes it at the core. It shakes it at the being. It really speaks measures and mass and purpose. It focuses to the point where they say they won't put up with it. And the reasons why they won't put up with it is because they're moving in a direction towards positivity. And, when we're doing that in our lives, people start to see the light come out of you. They start to see the light radiate out of you. You start to see past the clouds. Okay? Clouds come so that you can make it through them. They don't come so that they can stop you from being able to see blue skies. It's up for you to see the blue skies for yourself and know that the clouds come to pass. And when we do that for ourselves, when we give ourselves that level of liberation, that level of being, we become blue like the skies. No longer the darkness can hold us back. No longer that part of our path, our journey, can be held back from that being. And when I'm telling you, when you gain that kind of student inside of yourself, when you start to do it for yourself, when you start to believe inside of yourself, when you start to become your best friend, when you start to become that person that you are inside, when you start to become that part of your journey, when you start to become that part of your path, you're going to see those things move out of the way. And if they've already done that once, there's a reason why you should backtrack to see if that thing was a positive thing, and if the reasons why they felt the way they did, the reasons why they acted the way they did, had a purpose and a part in your journey. So, when do we start to believe to that point? I know that what goes on inside really matters, because I had to find a page where I loved myself more than I loved other people. Okay? I was scared to find that person inside. And I'm telling you, that person inside is greater than that. Those challenges, those people that would say, hey, why don't you just take one drink? Why don't you just smoke one cigarette? They're not bringing you closer to your embracing yourself. In fact, the things they're seeking after is taking your life, taking your ability, giving yourself the ability to not want to live, to not want to vibrate. And it's not about that, friends. It's not about that. It's about understanding yourself, giving yourself patience, giving yourself the ability inside of who you are to light up, giving yourself the ability to overcome those things. And I started to do that for myself. I started to utilize the beauty that I could see to overcome my own addictions. And I'm on that page where I've decided that those addictions I'm going to kick. And it isn't for anybody else at this point. It's for this person inside. You hearing what I'm saying? If you're out there and you're hearing what I'm saying, throw me a comment. Hear what I'm saying? Just put it out there. Let me know what I'm saying vibrates inside of you, that it emanates inside of your being, that what vibrates outwards comes from within you. And so, when we seek out people, there's obviously a reason why challenges come our way. It's not there to stop you. It's not there to hold you back. It's there for you to gain the knowledge and the decompression. You hearing what I'm saying? Diamonds aren't formed. They're formed from coal being compressed and heated up to the point where the beauty comes out. It's not when they start to, if they want to stay as a coal, they'll never get to become a diamond. If they want to stay where they become a coal, they never get to open up. If they stay where they're a coal, where darkness lays, they don't get to shine in the light. And I'm telling you, this path, this way, this purpose, this journey is meant for you to become diamonds. It's meant for you to shine in the light. It's meant for you to not hide behind a mask and to head into places where you go out of the way to become the person that you're not. It doesn't hide behind cigarettes. Some of you might have people that you don't want to know your true intentions. They don't want you to know your true mentality. They don't want people to know that they do these kind of things. And they might just want to ask themselves the question why that person might feel that way. See, when we put ourselves in a place where we start to become uplifted, we got to seek out positivity. We got to seek out those kind of things that we can overcome them, that we can manifest our being within, that we can manifest our purpose, our journey, our path, our being. And I see it inside. I see it within. I see it around. I see those that are not bringing themselves towards the light, that are not pulling themselves out of that karmic circle. They continue to go through the circle until they learn the lessons for themselves. That's how karma works. I started to understand this as I sat down and I started to listen to different YouTube channels, start to listen to different parts of energies, to start to expand from within oneself, that there might be just a little bit more to it. And I'm telling you, there's a whole lot more to it. It has to deal more with what you truly want to become, what you truly want to manifest, who you truly want to be on the inside. And so that's why I say there's still time. Because when you start to do that for yourself, when you start to seek out that light inside of you, you're going to start to see that the challenges that you face off against, you will start to overcome. And I recognize that this being, this way, this person who is inside of ourselves, this growth, this student, this teacher inside, seeks out that level of meditation. See, it seeks out that level of liberation, seeks out that level of being within themselves, being within their own purpose, being within their own path, being within their own journey. to get to the place where they don't have to hide themselves. They don't have to seek out addictions. It's when they start to see that inside of who they are that the light starts to shine. That's when people see you as a place of meditation. And so, how do we use it, friends? How do we use our mentality and our level of focus? Being you, being who you are on the inside, people knowing you without needing all those things, without needing all those people, without needing acceptance from people that are not going to ultimately be there in the end. And we each have that kind of place, and we got to ask ourselves, where and what part and what journey do we truly want to take? Do we truly want to take ourselves down a route that brings us into darkness? Or do we truly want to take ourselves down a route that brings us closer to ourselves? And it's only when we vibrate at that level that we start to open up. It's only when we vibrate at that level that true values come out. It's only when we vibrate within our being to that purpose that we're not seeking acceptance from others, but we're seeking out inside of ourselves that we've learned how to overcome those type of things. See, greatness comes from here. It doesn't come from how much you have, how many friends you have, how many drinks you take, how many parties you go to. It comes from within yourself. It comes from within your vibration. It comes from within your being. It comes from within your purpose. It comes from within your path. It comes from when things are breaking down and that person is still there for you. Not when you're broken down, hanging out with other people that are putting you in such a place. You know, it's interesting. It's like a frog. If you take a frog and you put him in a pot, and you slowly turn up the pot, eventually the frog will be cooked inside of the pot because the heat inside the pot is greater than they are on the inside. I'm talking about becoming greater on the inside. I'm talking about the person before the meeting. I'm talking about the person who doesn't let the meeting stop them from growth. I'm talking about the person who doesn't let the meeting stop them from becoming who they are. I'm talking about the meeting who put them, those people that might be smaller than them or might be beside them, into a place of purpose, into a place of path, into a place of journey. I'm talking to the people who are not applying their energy in a way in which the light starts to shine. I'm talking to those people that misinterpret the beauty inside of themselves, the beauty inside of their being, their very vibration, the actual beauty that they have inside of themselves. I'm talking about when people that are meant to be of light seek out darkness. They're trying to drown themselves out. They're trying to stop themselves from growing. They're trying to stop themselves from feeling and facing off against what truly matters and embracing the people who really are bringing them in that direction. Because you know what? When people start to see you uplifted in that way, negativity finds its way to ask you the question if you can do it. And so when we ask ourselves those type of questions, you know, for reals, are you for reals? Are you actually sitting down inside of yourself thinking about what you're doing by taking that route? And when we ask ourselves that type of question, when we take that kind of reflection, you know, my friend was waiting for me to get this vehicle done. They weren't patient enough to wait for me to get it set up. It's getting up set up right now as we're talking. And it was meant to uplift them. It was meant to help them to get out of the situation that they were in. And now I see that person regressing because they identify that, well, in a time I used this way. No, you know better than that. You know that that didn't bring you towards yourself. That it didn't bring you closer to writing stuff down, to becoming a light in the universe. Didn't bring you closer to the family that you wanted to have in your life. It doesn't bring you closer to push things that are beautiful in your life away. And when darkness starts to radiate that place, you got to seek out who you are inside, my friends. You got to become a light at a point where focus and knowledge becomes what's embraced. Where focus and knowledge becomes what you are inside. Where focus and knowledge has a vibration in itself, and that vibration is called you. When that vibration is used, when that being is used, and when that focus is used in that part of your path, and you're not trying to seek out darkness, seek out the light. Seek out the beauty. Seek out the value. Seek out the person that you are inside. And if they're really hearing this, and they really see what they've done, I truly hope that they message me. They actually comment. And if you relate to what I'm talking about, leave some comments here so that we can all build a community of people that are willing to push for forward, for true forward motion, not the kind that holds you back, the kind that launches you forward in your life, that gives you life, gives you a breath to breathe, gives you a part inside of who you are, that gives you the ability to see this expansion. And you know, it's so interesting with this kinds of challenges that came up. What has become embraced, I'm seeing the rapidness in which my career is moving. I see the rapidness in which this part within oneself is liberating. I see actually the fact that, you know, there will be a day when I'm seeked out because of that. And those people will seek out that. They will be coming back. And it will be because they saw what they're going through, and they're going to be, and just simply ask yourselves those type of questions. What vibration am I going towards? What am I actually becoming attracted to? What kind of energy is being used? What kind of path, what kind of purpose do I truly want to take? And so I'm focused to that point where this is wealth, my friends. Believe in yourself as a wealth in the universe. Believe in yourself as a person who can become who you are on the inside. And you start to see these type of things. You start to see these kind of challenges. You start to see these kind of purpose, this type of person who you are on the inside. And I look forward to studying and growing. I look forward to getting to the point where those books that I have up there, the reason why I wanted my books back was because I want to sit down and read them. I want to expand this mastery. And you know, I wanted you guys along with me. And there's multiple people that are a part of this path, this journey, this purpose. And I'm telling you, it's still not too late. But you got to see that. You got to start to push. You got to start to want to fight it. You got to want to fight your addictions like I do. You got to want to believe in yourself to the point where you can light up in this world, where you can become a light within this universe, where the universe can see you as a path, can see you as a purpose. When people start to reject you to the point where people that are positive start embracing you. Because they did. That's the point I'm getting at. Those people did embrace you. They did actually embrace you when you started heading in that direction. They started to want to spend time with you. They wanted to start to be a part with you. They started to want to pray with you. And they started to want to be with you. And so you got to ask yourself that question. What is it that you truly want to become? What is it that you want to light up? And that's why I said there's enough time. There's still enough time. Because you got to see the beauty you got inside of yourself. And the way in which other people feel is because they believe at that point. When somebody believes at that point inside of you, okay, That's real care. When they believe at that point inside of you, that's when they really want you to see it for yourself. They didn't want to take it from you. They don't want to take nothing from you. They already got their own path, their own journey. And it's when they uplift you to that point where you want to really like just go out of your way to say, wow, I need you in my life. That's the type of persons that I'm seeking after. I'm seeking after people who value and don't just push off to the side. I'm seeking after people who want to be a part of this team. I'm seeking after people that want to be on this journey, who are truly who they are on the inside, who are truly not hiding things and not stopping themselves from growth and not stopping themselves from their vibration, and seeing that their hearts, and there's people out there with such a tender heart, such a beauty, that the path that they're on is worth it. That the purpose that they were working on is worth it. You know, it's a level of wealth that we use that give us the ability to overcome our challenges. It's a level of wealth that we utilize to find our place. It's a level of wealth that gives us a place where our mentality has that ability inside of itself. It's a mentality within ourselves to where our focus and knowledge becomes applied. And when we focus into positivity in that way, we start to truly realize what we lose. It's not an emotion, my friends, that this vibration comes along. It's a reason this vibration comes along. It's there to test you. And sometimes it hits you in the head like a dish to ask you if you're going to turn towards positivity or if you're going to move in the other direction. You could stay down in that dark tunnel as long as you want. Go for it. But when you want to get up in the light, the sights that are there for you are going to embrace you. See what I'm saying? I have not kicked those type of people out of my life. They've moved out of my life because they're allowing negativity to fill the void. They're allowing negativity to take over their being. They're allowing it to be soaked in a way in which they're not embracing the person that they are inside. They're not embracing their journey, their path, their purpose. And so, are we able to see this? And you see, I care so much that I put the Most High God first. Then I put myself. And then I put the people around me. Are you doing that for yourself? Are you putting yourself in that place where you're gaining true self-growth? Where you're gaining true self-purpose, true self-path? Because I saw that for you. I saw you doing it. I saw you achieving it. I saw you believing in yourself. I saw you seeking out a light inside of you. I saw you becoming back to healthy. Becoming back to your being. Facing off against things that were holding you back, that were choking you up. And you want to go back into that? And you want to wonder why I'm upset? Because I believe in you, my friend. I believe that you have what it takes to overcome that for yourself. And when you just ghost your friends, what you're doing is you're ghosting yourself. When you push away the people who truly care about you, and I'm not just talking about one person, what you're doing is you're pushing yourselves away. So if you know what I'm talking about out there, if you are that type of person who pushes the people that are closest to you away because you're having a hard time instead of embracing them, instead of clubbing closer to them, if that is the type of thing that you're looking to become, that ain't going to bring you close to creating a reflection of inspiration. What will is when you know and you focus to the point where you say, I'm going to beat this thing. I'm going to overcome these addictions. I'm going to overcome these fears, these pains. I'm going to become a light in this universe. I'm going to connect my focus and my knowledge to the point where the reflection radiates outwards. And you know what's the hardest part about that? It's sticking to it. It's being true inside of yourself. It's using the hardest trait on the face of the planet. Because when that breaking point comes, it's what's going to happen is you're going to see yourself in the light. You're going to see that you are not focusing towards that direction, okay? You're not focusing towards that path, that purpose, and that journey that you're meant to be on. After all of us have our journey. All of us have our path. All of us are on our purpose. And it's when we see it for ourselves, when we start to analyze the situations, that we start to notice it. So when we start to analyze the person that we are inside, that we start to embrace it. It's when we start to analyze the person we are inside that it starts to light up. And so, yes, I'm here to uplift you. Yes, I'm here to tell you it's worth it. Yes, I'm here to tell you that what I'm for and what I stand behind is focus, knowledge, and discipline. That focusing to the point where you become a motivation in the universe is worth it. That gaining the knowledge inside that you can know yourself, that you can know your being, that you can not drown yourself out, that you cannot chase after things that won't bring you closer to you, that won't bring you closer to your purpose, that won't bring you closer to your understanding. And so as we focus to that point where we give ourselves the ability to use that kind of challenges that we face off against on a daily basis, we start to overcome our challenges. We start to get to the page inside of ourselves where we start to utilize those challenges, where we start to utilize that purpose, where we start to utilize that path, where we start to utilize that journey. And we focus, and we achieve, and we overcome, and we believe in ourselves and not other people. We believe in ourselves in such a way that we give ourselves that ability to overcome it. We give ourselves that ability to believe in it. And that's when we find the liberation where focus and knowledge lays, where the ability inside of oneself becomes, where the ability inside of oneself overcomes. And we're achievers out there. We have dreams. We have a path. We have a purpose. And when we see that for ourselves, we start to sit back and analyze it. We start to sit back and overcome it. We start to sit back and achieve it and light up in this world. And so are we getting there for ourselves? Are we getting there for who we are on the inside? Are we lighting up within this being? Are we lighting up within this purpose? I want you all to start to see your reflection of inspiration. I want you to start to see that your values matter and your purpose matters. And I want you to see that your being inside matters. So are we focusing to that point inside of ourselves where we take this light to that level? Are we focusing inside of ourselves where our purpose is worth it? Our path, our journey, our beings, our lights within the universe. I just want you all to be left with that kind of blessing. That's the reason why I won't allow those types of things to be around me. And that is the reason why the reflection that I ask myself about every single day is, am I an inspiration? If I yet can inspire you to turn heads and start to head back in the direction towards that light, to start to seek out those type of people that will bring you towards the light, You can see them in the little ones. You can see them in the people that you're pushing away because you're not willing to embrace that